So one thing nobody really talks about is the AAA studios and even the developers and publishers of AA, indie, and whatnot have always been the pioneers of what has driven the gaming industry. The conversations that we've been having about the console wars and all this nonsense, actually credit needs to go to, especially some of them that you may not necessarily like or you may not necessarily be fond of, some of these developers that actually did take the step to pursue innovation. One of them is CD Projekt Red, another is Ubisoft. Now, I say this because the priority of these particular studios has always been to sell games, and it has made them very, very successful, made them profitable, and made them sustainable. Yes, PlayStation, even though they eat 30% of these sales and they keep it, they've also looked at some of these publishers and said to themselves, how can we be able to do stuff like this consistently? When we look at, say, some publishers like Rockstar, some publishers like Ubisoft, believe it or not, Ubisoft makes a lot of money from these, its third-party publishing deals that it actually puts its games on places like PlayStation and Xbox. Yes, their games will easily sell like 10 million copies and they'll release like 3 of them in 1 year. So in 1 year alone, Ubisoft can come home with at least 15 million copies of games sold. It's insane. You don't think it, but it's actually a thing. Then Rockstar basically has pretty much the best sold, piece of entertainment that haven't been seen in the longest time. And now Activision, for the most part, before Xbox acquired them, always came home with the biggest game of the year. So these particular third-party publishers always prioritize their software sales. I think this has influenced, in a sense, or at least has made Xbox rethink its strategy and is making PlayStation rethink its strategy as well. Ubisoft, CD Projekt Red, they also were quick to adopt the Stadia and the Luna platforms. These platforms at the time, people were looking and saying, what do you mean? You mean I'm going to basically stream my game? Is it going to be good? Is it going to play well? And all these questions. But these studios, these publishers, they threw their games on there immediately without any question. And it seemed to work out. I mean, Stadia did bomb and eventually go out of business and refunded all of its games back to people. But some other services are probably going to make their way out very soon and are going to be sustainable. I mean, think about things like NVIDIA GeForce. These are going to be platforms that, ladies and gentlemen, y'all are basically going to see more and more of them pop up as time go on. Now, these particular AAA developers, right, having made sure that they could make their software available in as many places as possible, or maybe they take a deal and make a little bit of money for time exclusivity, it did not necessarily surprise us to see places, publishers and even, companies like PlayStation start trying to figure out how they can sell more software. Because taking the exclusivity approach is something that works for Nintendo for now because of their unique selling point. But if you're not Nintendo and you're Xbox or PlayStation, you need to get your software out there. Xbox recognized this as first, simply because they were getting crushed by PlayStation. PlayStation has also now recognized it, so we're going to continue to see the ubiquitous nature of these games. I think this whole talk about day and date and all that stuff, it is what it is. The only thing that's going to really bring day and date to light is as the competition gets more and more stiff. And man, with all the money that Xbox is throwing in and with all the capabilities now available to many, many AAA studios, I think that competition is about to really stiffen because, I mean, PlayStation can't sit there and keep watching these, companies make their 25 million copy games, just leveraging mostly their platform. Even Xbox basically leveraging their platform to sell that many games every holiday season with Call of Duty without doing anything about it. And they know what to do about it. They are already doing that about it. They brought their Lego game is coming day one to PC. Their, Until Dawn game is coming day one to PC. Their Helldivers game came day one to PC. So they understand this and they're going to continue to move to this area. Keep this in mind nonetheless. They will posture with some of their titles and then eventually make them kind of delayed exclusive games and then bring them later. But watch very carefully how they're going to double dip. They're going to say we're not going to be bringing day and date to our platforms, but then they will bring some games day and date. Remember, it used to be only live service games, but Lego is not a live service game. Until Dawn is not a live service game. Even if you call it a remake, it is not a remake or it is a remake like The Last of Us Part 1 remake, which also had a time of exclusivity. So this is changing and the shift is actually happening right now. Pay very close attention and see it. Day and date is already here with PlayStation. It's no longer a conversation. We're no longer arguing about it simply because the third-party AAA developers and publishers are just the biggest competition for both of them. Even though they're partners with them, they're still hard competitors nonetheless. Thanks for watching the video. Appreciate you guys' time and audience. Hopefully we'll talk pretty soon in another one. Peace out.